We begin today here in Washington, where President Biden yesterday signed an historic anti-lynching law. It's the first federal legislation declaring lynching a federal hate crime in the United States, after over a century of civil rights groups rallying behind the measure. The legislation is named after 14-year-old Emmett Till, who was brutally murdered in a racist attack in Mississippi in 1955. The incident drew national attention to the atrocities and violence that African Americans faced. It further galvanized the U.S. civil rights movement. President Biden signed the bill at a desk in the White House Rose Garden and thanked an invited audience of civil rights leaders, Congressional Black Caucus members and other guests. Both the president and vice president delivered remarks to mark the moment.
So today we are gathered to do unfinished business, to acknowledge the horror in this part of our history, to state unequivocally that lynching is and has always been a hate crime, and to make clear that the federal government may now prosecute these crimes as such. Lynching is not a relic of the past. Racial acts of terror still occur in our nation. And when they do, we must all have the courage to name them and hold the perpetrators to account.
No federal law expressly prohibited lynching, none, until today. From the bullets in the back of Ahmaud Arbery to countless other acts of violence, countless victims known and unknown. The same racial hatred that drove the mob to hang a noose brought that mob carrying torches out of the fields of Charlottesville just a few years ago. Racial hate isn't an old problem. It's a persistent problem. A persistent problem.
The Senate passed the bill by unanimous consent on March the 7th, nearly 1 month after the House passed it. Congress had failed to pass anti-lynching legislation more than 200 times. Vice President Kamala Harris was a prime sponsor of the bill when she sat in the Senate. Lynching can be prosecuted under the law when the authorities believe a conspiracy to commit a hate crime has led to death or serious bodily injury. The law lays out a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison plus fines. Its champion is Representative Bobby Rush of Illinois, and for him, yesterday was a career-defining achievement.
I thought surely I would have been dead before I was 30 years old because of my activism in the 60s. But here I am today, on my way to the White House, where the president is going to sign the Emmett Till anti-lynching act that I sponsored. What a remarkable day.